Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as our friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the roundabout crochet coasters. This is using cotton yarn, the Lily Sugar and Cream line, in order to make these fabulous coasters. So let's talk a little bit about that, and let's talk about the pattern, and let's get you started today. So here's an example of the Lily Sugar and Cream line made by yarnspirations.com. So this is 100% grown in the United States, and then it's shipped over to Canada where it's dyed, and then it's put right back out. So it's a nice North American product to be able to use. Now it's 100% cotton, and so this is perfect for the kitchen, whether you're using it as a pot holder, whether you're using it to absorb water, whether it's a dish rag or a tea towel. A cotton yarn is the way to go for anything like that. So because this is a coaster, you may have water that's dripping down the edges onto the coaster. Cotton yarn is the way to go, definitely, for this. To play today, you'll need a 4.5mm size US 7 crochet hook in order to play, and then you just need a tapestry needle just to weave in your ends. Let's talk a little bit about the pattern next, and let's begin that. So here's the pattern. Is just a one pager, really quite simple, and you can see that it has a main color with just one ring around with an additional color to make it just an accenting. So of course the colors are very subjective to your own creativity and to your own personal lifestyle on what colors that you most value. So today I'm going to be using some different colors in order to show you today, and you can see that there's different colors that they suggest in order to have a really kind of a cool funky set. And of course you can use other colors later on in other projects. Maybe you want to make another one totally interior of yellow and then a ring of something else. So you have a lot of fun with these particular ideas. So let's begin, and let's get started. So let's create ourselves a slip knot, and let's get started. And we're going to be using a 4.5mm size US 7 crochet hook, and let's insert our hook into the slip knot to begin. So you want to chain a total of 3. So remember, the one on the hook that you start with never counts as one. So you have 1, 2, and 3. So now going into the very first chain right down here where I'm pinching, is that we are going to put 10 half double crochets into that. So you just wrap the hook first, and then going into that same ending chain right down at the bottom, and then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet, and you need to do a total of 10 of those. So that was 1. So just wrap the hook and going into the same chain, and you want to do that so that you can count at least 10 of those going all the way around. So please do that, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So here's what it looks like, and so you can count back on there if you just separate it. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the first chain 2 doesn't count as anything, and you'll see that here in the pattern as well as a note that the chain 2 at the beginning of the round does not count as a half double crochet. So you make sure you don't count that, and when you came all the way back around, you make sure you join to the top of the first half double crochet and not into the chain 2. So go right into the top of the first half double crochet with the slip stitch and pull through and through to conclude all the way around. So let's move on to round number 2. So in round number 2 we're going to chain 2. Remember, that doesn't count as a half double crochet, it's more of a builder, and that's typical for half double crochet, just in case you're new to crochet. So right down right where you have the joint already, you're gonna place in 2 more half double crochets right into the same stitch. Okay, so you got 1 and 2. Now here's the thing about this round. This round is really quite simple. Every stitch around is gonna each have 2 half double crochets. So you move to the next one and put in 2 half double crochets, and then go to the next one and 2 half double crochets, and so on. So see, at the end of this round, 2 half double crochets in each all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way back around, and I put in 2 half double crochets into each. See this one right here? People think that's a stitch, and it's not. See how it's leaning towards this? So that means that that is part of this original stitch. So when people get thrown off and doing hats or anything like that, they put in extra stitches, and this is where they'll go and do it. So you should be able to count 10 groups of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so when you get all the way and get that 10, you just go to the top of the first half double crochet, not into the chain 2 because it doesn't count, and just go right into the top of the first half double crochet and just join it with the slip stitch like that. And you see how it brought everything together. So you would have thought to add in the extra stitch, when in actual fact you shouldn't, and you don't need to. So let's move along to round number 3. So let's start round number 3. We're going to chain 2. Remember, it does not count as a half double crochet, and you're gonna put 1 half double crochet into the same one that you did the join with. So you just got 1 into that one only. So here's the repeat pattern going all the way around as you do this. So the next one will have 2 half double crochets into the same one. So 1 and 2, and then the next one is just going to be one by itself, so just one half double crochet. Okay, so the next one is going to be 2 half double crochets in the same one, and then the next one is just 1. So please do that same idea going all the way around. So coming up all the way back around, if your counts are right, the last stitch that you're doing is going to have 2 half double crochets in there. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to finish off, and then you'll have 2 into the same one, and we're going to join with the top of the first half double crochet. But here's the thing, we want to get rid of this yarn first. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to slip stitch, and we're gonna go into the top of the first half double crochet that you started with, and instead of grabbing this yarn to slip stitch, what you're going to do is you're gonna grab your new yarn, and I like to create a slip knot. It just is a little bit of a security for me, and I'm gonna place that onto the hook, and I'm gonna pull through that stitch and through the other one like so. So now I'm just gonna grab the other peach yarn here, and now I'm gonna trim that with my scissors so it's out of the way. And what I'm gonna do then is that I'm gonna start round number 4. So I have actually what appears to be 3 strands. So I have 2 that are cut just like you see, and then 1 that is leading to the ball. So let's move on to round number 4. So let's start round number 4, and I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna chain up 1, and we're gonna put 1 single crochet into the same one that you did the join into. Okay, so we're gonna come down and just right where you did the join, and what I want you to do is that these 2 strands that are loose, just like you see, you want to lay them down on top of it, and you want to have it so that the other yarn you're working with goes right up over top and hides it. So you're gonna single crochet kind of around it so it gets stuck right in between the stitches. So the next one is gonna be 1 single crochet by itself, so you're just gonna continue to go, keep this down on top and single crochet, and then the next one is going to be 2 single crochets into the next. Okay, so we go 1 and 2. Okay, just like that. So the repeat pattern to go all the way around this is that the next 2 will be single crochets by itself, so 1 and 2, and then the next one is going to be 2 single crochets into the same one, so 1 and 2. Okay, so do you get that? So there's going to be 2 singles by itself and then 2 into the same one, and so that will span you all the way around. So please do that all the way around for round number 4. So as you come all the way back around, you're continuing the pattern as you know. The last one, if your stitching is right, will be 2 singles into the same one, so 1 and 2, and we want to join it then to the top of the first single crochet. But here's the thing, we're getting rid of this color now, so you can just trim it before or trim it after, it doesn't really matter, and then you're just gonna grab the new yarn, again create a slip knot if you want for extra security, and then you're going to use that yarn to pull through to finish that off just like that. So like before, we want to start the next round, and we want to isolate the 2 yarns that are just cut, and you want to pull those around the front so you can see those, and then you're gonna begin round number 5, which is the final. So to begin number 5, which is the final, you want to chain 2. Remember, it doesn't count as a half double crochet. Coming into the same one right below is that you're going to half double crochet in. Again, you're trapping these yarn strands on top just inside the stitches, so just going in, making sure they're lying down on top so that you go right up and over, and it's gonna be 1 half double crochet in each stitch going all the way around. So just continue to do that. So 1 in each, and continue to bury these loose ends in for about 1 inch or 2. I would recommend 2 inches, why not, right? So once you have it buried in enough, you can just safely trim those out, and if you haven't trimmed the other ones out, I haven't, I could just turn it around and just isolate those out, so I can get rid of the first one and this one here so you don't see those, and then you can just continue to go all the way around just like that. So just half double crochet 1 in each stitch all the way around. I'll see you at the end, and I'll show you how to hide in your loose ends with the darning needle. So as you come all the way around, you're just going to half double crochet 1 into each, and remember this one that's leaning over is part of this one here. See this line here? That's normal within crochet. If you think it's an error, it's really not. It's just the way the stitch work is. So you're just going to then just join it to the top of the first half double crochet, and you're done. So what I want to do is that I want to take this strand here, and I want to finish it off with the darning needle. So just using this strand, just pull through the final loop, and it will lock it in a position, and now we're gonna get rid of this string. So to do that, if you don't hide it in now, it's gonna fall out after or while you're in use, and you'll notice it before anybody, I'm sure. So what you're gonna do is just put it into a darning needle and you're just gonna glide it up underneath the stitches. Just like so. So you go in about 1 inch and then across and pull. Now when you pull it, don't reef on it so that you change the shape, and then you're just gonna go back in through a different section but in the same direction you just came from. Okay, just go back and go for number 2, and then just again go back one more time for number 3. So if you continue to do this and go back and forth 3 times, what happens is that this work can never fall out because your work can't stretch in 3 different directions at one time. So then you can just safely trim it down to the project and you can shape it, and now you're good to go. So this is the right side of the project. This is the other side, just like you see. So if it flips over, it's really not a big deal, but it's actually kind of a neat project to work on at the same time. So if you're looking for some coasters, this is a great idea. Make sure you use cotton yarn in order to be able to have it washed if you need it to, and if it gets wet, it's not a big deal because it is cotton. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Yarn Inspirations as well as my thecrochetcrowd.com. Have a great day. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.